So, yeah, I made this little video earlier, and I was live streaming, and the thing is, while I was doing I realized I wasn't really explaining what I was doing, and I figured this is a lot better if I just take the video and talk over it instead. So I'm going to do that, and that's probably how I'm going to just do my cooking streams from now on. Because that works a lot better. So, my name's Rob. This is my beer. This was a little dish that I got inspired from. I was watching some Alton Brown stuff. So, I was like, yeah, I can go into my fridge and see what I got. And that's what I did. So, let me just switch to the scene. There we go. Lovely kitchen. You can see sink, food barely prepped, that thing. And here we go. I'm just going to leave this muted, and I also increased the speed so that it's not 50 minutes long. It doesn't need to be, it's just me cooking. The basis of this was potatoes, which are over here, onions, which are behind the camera. They'll move up in a little bit. Apples, butter, beer. Over here's my kielbasa. Herbs were salt, pepper, some cayenne, and parsley. And here we go. So, yep, empty screen. What was going on was I needed to get another phone over here so I could actually read chat. And that's why I decided this was a bad idea. So, oh, yep. Like an idiot. You gotta wash your hands. It was 20 seconds, I swear. I was singing Respect by Erasure. It's my go-to song whenever I'm washing my hands these days. Look at that. Super thorough. Get the thumbs. Get the thumbs. Don't touch it. Paper towels off screen. What was I doing? Alright. So here we go. Onion knife was shit. Better knife. Chop the onions up. And yeah, that's how I chop onions, is I will start and then peel them. It's a lot easier that way, in my opinion. And let's dice those up. Ooh, yeah. And what you can't see right now is me starting to well up a little bit. The onions, they hit you hard, man. All of a sudden you're like, ooh, man, I'm starting to cry. Starting to cry, chop up those fucking onions. Yeah, just keep, yeah. Pretend like you know what you're doing, because you don't. Oh, you are the worst. Yeah, get all those onions in there. What's next? Potatoes. Now, typically, I like to use a nice medley of potatoes. Some reds, some yellows, some blues. I do that entirely for Instagram. It just looks a lot better on Instagram when you do that. But these are my emergency plague potatoes, which means I went to Lidl and bought the only potatoes they had. Small potatoes, but, you know, they only come in yellow. You make do with what you can do. Almost nicked my own finger there. Well done. Dropped one, threw him in the garbage. Talking to the camera. I've muted myself because, well, when you're speaking to the phone mic, it's just doesn't come out as well. That's right, Rob. Keep talking to the mic and then completely forget to do so halfway through this. Alright. Lots of potatoes. These were washed beforehand in the bag. I do not peel my potatoes. I like the skins. That's just the way I am. I think I only used about half the bag. It wasn't even the full bag of potatoes. It was just half a one full onion, half the bag of potatoes. This is me reading chat at the time, because I actually had no means of doing that. It was very awkward. That's why I'm switching to this method now, because I can read the chat. Yep, there we go. Show the food. That's what people pay to see. They want to see the food. If you want to pay, you can subscribe to my Twitch channel, and you can get an emote. It's gritty. That's butter from Lionel. My personal favorite. It's like an olive oil sea salt butter. Apron kept falling off. This isn't my usual apron, but no apron actually fits me well. Get the cutting board out of the screen. Wasn't using it at the time, so I moved the camera forward. This actually looked pretty bad, not gonna lie, because that's just butter and onions and potatoes. It's a little thing that decors the apples right away. One of my favorites, little tricks. What was I doing here? I don't know. I was probably still checking the... Because I had one... my tablet was playing music, and then I had an old phone that doesn't connect, and that was what I was using to connect to the web to read chat. I won't be doing that in the future. Onions were decored and... Sorry. Apples decored and chopped. So this is basically making up as I go. Originally I wanted to put in mushrooms, and I looked at my mushrooms and they had already turned. So went with apples instead, because old recipe I used to do all the time was a pork chop and onions and apples. So I kind of based it off of that. That's right. Isn't it great that I sped this up? Get rid of the seeds because I missed the angle. Stove is on by this point, right? Should be. I should be getting those onions going. Yeah, I'm seeing a little steam. That's right. Right, I turned it on the first time I moved the camera. So beer, Golden Monkey. Victory, local beer. What the hell was I getting? Oh, my fusion glass. One for me, two for the drink, and two for the pot. I'm not drinking that now. I'm drinking a Americano, a blonde Americano. Mustard. It was a stone ground mustard. Just plopped it right in there. I think it was, I think it's Philly Pretzel Factory brand. It was the only one I could find. Usually I prefer a nice sweet mustard, but a stone ground worked nice for this. Arguably, this was way too liquidy. Don't care. This is me going through the spice cabinet, trying to figure out what I wanted. That's usually how I'm in the spice cabinet. I don't know what I'm doing until I actually look at it. So, show off the spice cabinet. shake of cayenne. Adds a nice little bit of heat. I actually, this recipe turned out amazing. I was a huge fan of it at the end. It tasted really good. Very hearty. Not quite cottle level of hearty, but still very tasty. What was I doing at this point? Oh, cleaning cutting board. Because here comes the meat. Should be the meat. Move the camera again, you idiot. Back up the oh, no, I was getting the kielbasa. Kielbasa is from Sheb's in Philadelphia. They're still open. He refuses to close at the moment. He's a takeout business. So it's probably the best kielbasa you can get. It's very good. And that was starting to simmer, which is good. I needed it to... I put in a little bit too much beer, in my opinion. Needed to simmer it down. Yeah, Rob. Read chat. Actually, I was making sure it was sending out tweets, because it was acting weird. Meanwhile, that thing just keeps looking on. I realized I'm circling this with my mouse, and I told it not to record my mouse. So just keep simmering. My tablet, as you can tell, has gritty on it. I should put some of the sriracha in. That feels like a waste not doing that. But it came out nice without it. So, no. Maybe next time. Personally, I'm not the kind of hipster who likes too much sriracha. I'll wear a bow tie whenever, but, you know, that's just too much. Yeah. Alright, Rob, get back to cooking. Actually, no, it's still simmering. It has to simmer. You could at least stir it a bit, though. Oh, yeah, there you go. It's a good thing you weren't looking at porn. I know you. You would have looked at porn right on stream. Especially on that tablet. Oh, yeah, no, that was me putting up another recipe. Somebody wanted some recipes. I've been getting a lot of requests lately. So, there you go. Okay, and that's when it was like, okay, salt, pepper. Salt is Himalayan sea salt. Pepper is just regular, coarse black pepper. I think this is also when I squirted in more mustard. That's right, squirt it in. More mustard. Seriously, what the hell are you doing? And next time, take the teapot out of the way, or at least clean it first. It's amazing people think I know what I'm doing, because, you know, this is unprofessional as hell. Typically, I only use the stream specials to put up my videos for when I'm making bacon jam. Mostly because you gotta let that sit for about an hour and simmer for an hour. And it's a great way to monitor it is just set up your webcam and go wherever. What are you doing? What are you doing? Come on, there's no way there's still any golden monkeys still in that thing. Since this one you got the Americano, or is that after you added the meat? Nope, I was right. Mustard was next. There's the meat. At first, I debated cooking the meat up on the skillet beside it, and then make it crispier. But I opted instead just to throw it right on into the pot, so it's not as crispy, but it still comes out very nicely. All kielbasa cut in fours, so you slice it down, cut in four, better chunks that way. And I used about half of that. So I got 2 pounds from John, so that's about a pound of sausage. I used half of it, so half a pound of kielbasa. As you can see, I just slice it not too thick, not too thin, like a medium cut. And then again in fours. Alright. Yeah. Put more meat in there. Like I said, this kielbasa is just so flavorful. It is pretty much half the flavor of this whole thing. It's just really good. And yeah, like I said, you get it from this butcher in Philadelphia. He's been around since 1938. He's over in Port Richmond. Well, he hasn't been there since 38. His family was. I think it was his grandfather who started it. And yeah, it's amazing kielbasa. People line up well around the block to get it on a normal day. So when you have to stand 6 feet away from each other, even more so. Oh, such beer. Well crafted Americano blonde. I bought the last of it. They said they're going to brew more, but right now, that's about it. Damn. Take the rest of those. Save that. There was also a piece that I cut off the end. That's off screen. I'm going to eat that off screen while no one's watching. Bad camera angle. Oof. Really bad camera angle. You should have refocused that. I mean, the meat's still there, and my body's covering up the rest, and you can still see a plague mask ready in the background. So now it's just simmer everything down for a while. Which again, this original video is about 50 minutes long. I think I cut it down to about 25 by speeding it up. Go get your other beer, Rob. You know you want it. Scrape down the edges. Because the mustard was starting to cake on the outside. Could have done a better job with that. Maybe if I had used a rubber spatula. Now you know you're out of beer. This must have been when Ronnie popped in the chat and I was talking for a bit. Yeah, because I'm grabbing the phone just to read it. It was a horrible setup. It should have been This method works a lot better. Yeah, raise the mic so people can raise the camera so people can see you. No one wants to look at you even now. So yeah, it was cat on the internet. Likes for the cat. You saw it. Give your likes for the cat. So by this point, I was realizing you need another ingredient, and I'm partial to parsley. So, all right, check the potatoes, see how done they were. At that point, it was like they need another about 5 minutes. Stick a fork in them; they're done. Yeah, Golden Monkey was all out of it. I'm actually not a big fan of it. It's great for cooking. I only cook with IPAs mostly, but they would not have gone with the apples. So, but it is a very flavorful beer, so it covered most of my spice needs. But yeah, needed something else. Dash of parsley. Alright. It was almost ready at this point. Last time I checked the sticking forks in it, it was like almost done. Almost. This was I need new beer time. Still drinking that now. This was only an hour ago. Like, I'm actually still eating the meal. I've had like 3 bowls of it. Save the rest for lunch. Gave my housemates some. Slancha to your health. Right now it's just set to simmer. Most of the beer had already evaporated, which is what I wanted. If you are making a similar dish to this, you do want it to almost be evaporated. So let's go over what it was. It was half a bag of tiny potatoes, 1 large sweet Vidalia onion, half a pound of kielbasa, 2 apples, I would say about half a cup of mustard, a handful of parsley, dash of salt, dash of pepper, dash of cayenne, and that was, oh yeah, and about a tablespoon of butter. Here's your finished product. Might have needed bacon. I debated the bacon while making it, but then it would have been too close to my coddle, and I didn't want to make the coddle. That's right, wave. Show your special guest, because that's who people... When you made this, you said you would put that in there. And yeah, that's it. It has no name. I guess it was just a meat dish. Like, it's a bacon sausage, sorry, a sausage, potato, bowl of brown, basically. Very tasty. I'm just sticking with plague food. 'Cause that's what it is. It's search what I got, make food for the plague. I'll come up with the name later. But that's all I got. And yeah, I will end this stream by